Yo, what is up everyone? It is 150 Collade here, and today we are going to be making two Alolan forms for Typhlosion. A grass type and a water type Alolan form. Last time we did the first Johto starter, Meganium, and now we're moving on to Typhlosion, and I think it's going to be really hard to guess who we're doing next. Anyway, we're going to be making two Alolan Typhlosion forms. And the reason I got thinking about this is that at the time of recording this, and probably the time of uploading this, unless I'm a bit slow on it, it is June 30th, and that means tomorrow's going to officially start July, and if they do Ultra Sun and Moon news, anything like they did Sun and Moon news last year, we're going to get some news at the beginning of every month, and I think there's a decent chance that tomorrow or one of the first 4 days of July that we're going to see some Johto Alolan forms. And if they confirm Alolan Johto starters, which I don't think they will, but if they do, then maybe I can say that I totally called it. Actually, that would be kind of inconvenient for the series, because I couldn't do a Feraligatr episode. But yeah, we're just going to get into making Alolan Typhlosion. I'm going to stop rambling now. And, of course, the first thing we have to do is get rid of that fire. Alright, so there we go. No more fire. Typhlosion has been deblazed. Maybe it's a normal type or something now. Maybe it just used Burn Up. If you don't know what that move does, look it up. It gets rid of your fire typing. Anyway, so, I'm gonna start with the grass Alolan Typhlosion. And I think the best place to start with like, grass parts would be Tropius's wings. Alright, so here Typhlosion is with Tropius's wings. And actually, this wasn't my plan originally, but now that I'm seeing this, I might want to add the flying typing onto it. I don't know, that's just a thought. But this doesn't look quite complete. I mean, obviously, I'm going to change Typhlosion's colors. But even then, I'm not sure if it would be quite complete. I mean, his head looks a bit bare, so I think Executor's leaves would look nice as, like, a crown to show that this Typhlosion is the king of the Alolan jungles. Alright, here we are with Executor's leaves on Typhlosion's head, and we're almost done with this. I've just got to make a few final finishing touches. First of all, I've got to make the color scheme more appropriate, but at the time of recording this, I've actually already done that. All I have to do is press space. There we go. It looks more like a grass type now, and if you're wondering why I changed its crown color, that's just so that it sticks out more in front of the wing leaf things. And I haven't done this yet, but I also need to create base stats for it. Alright, as you can see, here are the stats for our grass type Alolan Typhlosion. I decided to keep the defense of stats the same, just because I thought this form wouldn't make it better or worse at taking hits, although type-wise, grass has more weaknesses than fire, but, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I flipped its attack and its special attack, because now that it can't shoot fire anymore, I see it, attacking more physically with, like, its claws and its wings and stuff, and teeth, and all that. I also lowered its special attack a bit to give it more speed, just because now it can fly. I think that's gonna make it faster. So yeah, that's about it with our grass-type Alolan Typhlosion, although tad a bit more. I'm not going to be designing Alolan Forms for the first and middle stages, but if I did, Cyndaquil and Quilava would just be pure grass, and the flying type would be gained um, when they evolved into Typhlosion. So kind of like the reverse of Rowlet, where its first two stages are grass flying, and then it loses the flying typing. And it's also fast, unlike a certain starter who starts off as a grass flying type. Ugh, Decidueye. So yeah, I think that's about it. And now it's time to move on to the water one. Alright, real quick before we move on to the water one. First of all, you probably noticed that, the leaves are now the same color as, like, the Tropius wings, and the normal Executor colors. I decided that looked nicer, and of course, before we move on to the water form, we've got to give it a shiny. Alright, so, finally, before we move on to our water type, Alolan Typhlosion, I need to show you guys its shiny form for the grass type. This is obviously not its shiny form, this is the regular form that you just saw, and with the press of a button, it's shiny. So, I decided to go with a blue shiny form, because first of all, I just like the color blue a lot, and it works really cool with grass types. In fact, some of the coolest grass type starters shinies are blue, like Sceptile, Decidueye, even Superior if you want, Grottle, which is actually a really underrated shiny. Yeah, they're all blue, but aside from starters, you don't really see blue shinies for grass types, and I think it looks really nice. So, yeah, that's the color scheme I went with, and this time, Executor's leaves actually are different than the color of Tropius's wings. So, yeah, that's it for the grass type. Now on to the water type Typhlosion. Alright, here we are with Typhlosion. Again, I just started with the fireless Typhlosion that I had from creating its grass type form, just because a water type isn't going to have fire on it either. So yeah, surprisingly enough, for its first part, I'm not actually going to be beginning with a Pokemon. I'm actually going to be beginning with a Pokemon move, and that move is the move Waterfall. Right there, that's a tiny part of Waterfall's animation in Pokemon Black and White. And basically, I'm just going to make all the blue on Typhlosion have that, like, wave-like appearance. And yeah, I'll explain more about that once I've got it on Typhlosion. Alright, so there we go. Typhlosion's body, at least the back of its body, is now waterfall-like, and if this were an in-game model, you'd see the rest of its back would have like the waterfall patterns that its head has right there, and it would probably just like be going downwards like a waterfall, but I can't animate this. That would take way too much time. But yeah, so I said that I was going to explain more about this concept, and basically, for this design, I'm using the idea of, like, meditating under a waterfall, like, where you just, like, sit under a waterfall, and, like, and it's supposed to be, like, peaceful and stuff. And because of that, I'm going to make Typhlosion a water psychic type. And also what I'm going to do is, to show more of that meditation, I'm going to close its eye. That's going to be a lot quicker than getting the waterfall body was. Alright, there we go. The eye is closed. It is more peaceful now. And the last steps I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of the yellow, and I may potentially shut its mouth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that and still make it look nice, but if I can, I will. Alright, here we are. These are the final touches. So yeah, first of all, as you can see, I added a waterfall background. I'm going to try, and in the future, just add in a background when I'm done. Just to like kind of make it look a bit prettier. I couldn't really find a background that worked well with the grass type Typhlosion, and I didn't think about it when I did Meganium. But yeah, I've got like a waterfall background with a pretty rainbow. And I've also got the stats. So, this, of all the Alolan Forms I've created and given stats, this is the one that I probably changed the most drastically. Yeah, now Typhlosion is incredibly slow, while it was a pretty fast Pokemon before. Its special attack is, it's still okay, but it's not good like it was before. But in exchange, now it's got very good defenses and a huge HP stat. My thoughts behind this were just that now that it's focused on meditation and all that, it's more concerned with being passive than aggressive. Yeah, and the final touch is to show you guys its shiny form, but before I do that, I actually thought of a hidden ability for Alolan Typhlosion. I didn't put it on screen. This isn't anything that's been in the game, but I thought a cool hidden ability would be, since it's all focused on like resting and meditation, if it restores 1/16 or 1/8 of its HP whenever it's asleep. And since I can't really think of any recovery moves it would get other than rest, if it existed in game, people would probably use it with rest a lot. And I think it could, I know that obviously this isn't going to happen, but I think if this existed in game, it could be a really good defensive Pokemon. So yeah, finally I've just got to show you the shiny form. There we go. So yeah, I looked through the recoloring options I had. This one I thought looked pretty nice, because the waterfall's color doesn't really change that much, but it still changes. And the red on its body kind of reminded me a bit of a sunset, which seemed kind of like a peaceful thing. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think that's about it for this video. In the next video, I'm obviously going to do Feraligatr, a fire and grass type form for it. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys some options for Alolan forms I have, and have you guys either choose one of my options for me to do next, or suggest your own ideas, but don't do that on this video. Wait till Feraligatr. And in the unlikely event that an official Alolan Feraligatr is confirmed before I get around to making my Feraligatr video, then I'll just post a video asking you guys to vote. So yeah, that's about it. Anyway, this is 150 Glade, signing out. Stay awesome, and peace.